Hey, you're listening to Cracking the Code, the podcast for leaders building and growing service-based businesses. If you are in legal or medical or financial services, if you have letters behind your name that qualify you to do what you do for a living, you are in the right place. I am your host, Rob Riggs, here to bring you intel and access that are designed to decode how technology can be and should be impacting your growth. All right, let's get into it. Welcome back to Cracking the Code, where we explore the intersection of technology and business growth and the systems that power modern professional service firms. So I'm joined today by Murphy John. He's Chief Growth Officer at StoreX Network. And so Murphy is a 20-year veteran of the global cloud and storage industry, and he has a unique take leveraging the technology of today to provide service that is even more secure than some of the most secure platforms out there. Murphy, thanks so much for joining me for the show. And why don't you take a minute to introduce yourself to those who may not know you?
Yeah, great. Rob, thanks for having me here. Really excited to be the part of your podcast. So friends, my name is Murphy John and I work with StoreX Network. I'm the Chief Growth Officer helping clients in adopting this new technology, which is basically decentralized cloud storage platform. So till recently, people were not aware of what exactly this does mean. So I'll just break it down for the convenience. It's in simple terms. Till recently, what happened was cloud was the de facto standard for people who are looking to store anything on the web. And cloud being almost like 2 to 3 decades old now, they have been following the same pattern of storing the data. So evidently what happens is whenever you store some data on the cloud, it's like a single piece of data generally stored at a single location. So what that does mean is if somebody is able to access your location and your hardware by default, he gets to access the entire information, whether you are aware of it or you're not aware of it. But now with the blockchain technology, the development of distributed ledger technology, there are a lot of innovative ways in which you can actually store the data. So as in with StoreX, what we do is whenever you're using StoreX to store your data, what we do is in the user's laptop or desktop itself, we lock the file with a unique private key, which is known only to the users. And once the private key is locked in, the file is locked in, it is then sent to the platform where it's broken down into small fragments. And then we distribute these fragments to multiple storage nodes, which are spread worldwide. So currently, today, when I'm talking to you, we have around 3,000 nodes, which are spread worldwide across different parts of the zone. So what happens is every location or multiple locations of your data is storing a simple, small encrypted file. By any chances, if a hacker is able to hack into a system, or if a node operator or any other third party, including we at StoreX, are able to get into that system, we would just be getting an encrypted data, which doesn't make any sense. If the data for me to make any sense, I'll have to hack into multiple computers which are lying these fragments of data, and then I need to get in your private key, which is very, very exclusive to you. So this is something that really makes it, if not impossible, very difficult to hack in.
Yeah.
New paradigm security which users can use in to store the data.
Love it. Thanks for your deep dive. And for those of us at home who are not as technical, the most straightforward example I can think of is like the big movies right now. The whether you're talking about Lord of the Rings or whether you're talking about like stones and or there's something on Netflix right now that's been that come out. It's three worlds or universes or people, or I don't remember what the noun is. I don't remember the number. It could be nine. I don't know, but nine worlds. But you have the power of something that when all the stones or rings or worlds or whatever are together, you have all the power in the world. But when you take this and break it apart and then hide them in caves or whatever around the world, you are protecting the world against the combination of the power from those stones or rings, etc. And so what you're doing is you're taking the stones and that are people's data, people's applications, people's websites, software data, etc., and separating them for the purpose of security mainly, right? Is that the main goal of the distribution?
So there's two basic fundamentals why we're doing this. One is, of course, obviously security, and the second one is privacy. And the third one is because we are not storing that information just in one location. So what we do is while we are processing the data, we create multiple copies of this fragment. So in case if any of the node which is holding that specific data goes down, you still have that specific data residing in any of the other location as well. So there are like 2 or 3 different copies of these fragments which are actually made in and stored at different parts of the location.
Yeah.
So it gives you higher resiliency, higher security, and privacy as well. So 3 of the features built into it. And because the data is never stored in a single location, you cannot get infected by something like a ransomware virus, which actually locks it file when you're residing in a single location.
Nice. Does this help with backup too? Since this is distributed, you've got like
Yes,
all of these files.
yes.
Okay, so yeah, it makes sense. Um, what? So I am. I pretend to be technical, but I used to be technical, but now my team like keeps on top of technology and trends now because who at the time, but the one of the things that I've always been concerned about is the location of where my data is stored, because the location can determine the speed at which websites or whatever are loading, and that can have ramifications on search ranking and user experience, etc. How does this method of distribution impact the speed of loading when somebody's trying to access from the front end?
So obviously, because there is some processing which is going on for the data, it would not be the same speed at which you get the data from a single source. But what happens is the system is intelligent enough to go and query to the best location or the nearest location where the data is available. So it will go to the nearest location and bring the data from there. And it is
Yeah.
not bringing from a single location; it is bringing from multiple locations. That's kind of parallel collection that is going on for the data. So that in terms helps you to get the data much more faster than getting it for a single location, which would be at a different location, or maybe that specific location might have some kind of network conjunction or latency kind of stuff. So this actually is a little slow compared to the traditional cloud, but definitely it does make up because the advancements which are there.
Nice. Okay. Cool. 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 So this is a new take on a service that has been around for a while. Hosting has been around for a while, but then you've got services like Box.com and Dropbox and AWS and Google Drive, etc. Are any of those companies, not to throw them under the bus at all, but are those companies that have massive resources, are they implementing anything like this, or is this completely unique?
Uh, I don't know about the whole. Traditionally, what people started when they started moving from their on-prem to the cloud, the first promise that the cloud services providers gave them that the data would be very very secure and you can scale infinitely. So that was the 2 promises which they scaled up. But over the period of time, unfortunately, you see there are a lot of things that did not go the way the data had promised.
Sure,
So what
sure.
happens is, yeah, so that keeps on as the technology keep on evolving. There are other service providers who are offering it, but they add an additional cost to it, and there's some other services that you have to bundle it up. It is not as a default service that is clubbed up with the standard service that you generally get from the hyperscalers or the service providers.
Okay. And so right now, like the advent of blockchain and crypto and all of the things, decentralization is one of the key like mantras of what where the trends are going right now. And this seems to be a new use of some classic and traditional storage methods. What drove this the formation of the company, or kind of your role there? What are you trying to accomplish for small businesses, service businesses, etc.? And does this help solve some of their main concerns in the way they're approaching their market?
Yeah. So the whole concept was designed by our founder, Mr. Handy Barrett. He is also a cloud veteran. So we've been working together for the past 30 years. And we
Nice.
before joining this, we had an organization which was providing cloud services. So basically, we came from that background, and then we saw the ways in which the data was being abused by, and the way in which the data cannot be protected because of the central architecture. And
Mm.
the DLT technology, distributed ledger technology, was just new, and people were still not very so forthcoming to put in the data because it was very new. Because from on-prem to the cloud, it took them almost like 20 years to just keep the mindset change and go from
Wow.
on-premises to move on to the cloud. And so we are on that. We are still on that stage of people are still observing us, people are still exploring us, and people are still a little wary that how can I keep my data when it is not in a single location. So that's the whole
Right.
ramification that we have. But we do have good use cases. We do have people who have come forth and started working with us. They're pretty good cases, POCs, which we are doing with certain specific areas like healthcare because of such compliance like HIPAA and
Yeah.
all. So what happens is because of this compliances, we were able to create them and offer them an individual service rather than distributing it all over the globe. But still, because of the DLT technologies, because of the fragmentation, and because of the encryption, they do get a very high level of security which is built into the system by default.
Nice, nice. Um, does this solve for some of the use cases of like CDN, like content distribution network, kind of at a bigger scale, right? Or more more depth. Like it's not just content being distributed; it's like actual code and files, that sort of thing, right?
To be very honest, the major use cases right now where we're seeing a variety of adoption that is happening is around backup, because most of the companies spend 10 to 30% of the amount right now because of the cyber resiliency and because of all this kind of impact of ransomware virus and different kind of problems that the data face in. This offers a very high amount of mileage or use cases for backup, because what happens
Mm.
is backup can really be robust in case if an organization decides to keep some amount of the data or maybe use distributed technology or StoreX, something like StoreX to store the data. It offers them really a good value for money because the data will reside at multiple locations. They have built-in redundancy by chance. They have built-in privacy, and they have built-in security. So major of our use cases is built on backup, and that's where we see a lot of adoption happening for this distributed technology and
Right.
decentralized cloud storage.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, we have hosting is one of our services. Okay. So we might be hosting, a handful of, 100 websites, 300, 500, I don't know. But one of the things that we pitch is the importance of backup for redundancy. Somebody is logging into their website CMS and making a change, and oops, they broke something, and having that redundancy built in is fantastic. But it's not a separate line item, right? This is redundancy built into the cost of hosting, which I really like. Very cool.
That's right. That's right.
Cool. So, you've scaled to 3,000 nodes globally. As you mentioned, what does that level of redundancy actually mean for a business owner, a small business owner who never even thinks about downtime or data loss or privacy, et cetera? What does it intrinsically deliver to them?
So basically, because of this technology that is built into decentralized cloud storage, the method of encryption, fragmentation, global distribution, you can have a very number of SLAs which can be achieved. So it's like nine nines of resiliency that you can build into the data. So that means you will be able to, without investing a huge amount of money, because you feel this small and medium business enterprises don't have the kind of money and the kind of resources that they can invest to store in the data, but the data remains still critical. So they can adopt technology like this and then deploy it into their regular system and keep storing the data. They will be able to offer a very high level of resiliency for the data. And this can be like one of the ways in which they can store the data, including their existing ways in which they are already storing the data.
Okay. Hey, this is Rob Riggs, and I wanted to take just a second to tell you about Code Conspirators, our sponsor here. And we are a technology-focused performance marketing agency serving professional service firms. So that's legal, medical, financial, engineering. If you take a test to do what you do for a living, we help you grow your practice with websites and apps and software and performance marketing. That's organic, paid ads, retargeting, conversion optimization. And we're also doing a whole host of things with CRM, AI, and automation that's been bringing our clients tremendous value. If you're curious at all, go to codeconspirators.com to learn more. Now back to the show. So DPIN is a huge topic right now for those in the tech world at least, but it's DPIN is decentralized like physical infrastructure networks, right? And so for somebody who's non-technical, all they care about is providing a good service and building a firm or practice, etc. Can you talk through what this means to them? And it feels to me like I'm asking the same question, but there's a little bit of a nuance for like DPIN specifically. For somebody that doesn't care where things are hosted, how things are hosted, they only care, is my website up? Are people able to schedule a call with me? Are people able to like buy whatever my service is? What do you have to say about that? The level of like deep risk, the level of redundancy. I'm trying to dive deeper into kind of what somebody will actually gain from this method of hosting.
Okay, so just to understand how DPIN can be different from the existing system, as I told you earlier, like for the amount of time that we have been using the client, we've been using the cloud to store the data. It's like just single piece of data is residing in a single location. And if you want to go in for any additional services, you will have to pay a hefty amount of it. So if a small business wants to build in a kind of resiliency that the distributed storage offers right now built into the system, they will end up paying a huge amount of money. So I urge all the medium small scale entrepreneurs to try this out and deploy it in their businesses, see how it has been working. It can just be a value added services that they can offer, but they can build in a lot of resiliency and redundancy into the business just by putting in adding data or decentralized cloud storage into their storage platform.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So when people hear the word blockchain, I think they are prone to think like they're associating blockchain with crypto, right? And but obviously this has much broader uses. The blockchain method. But blockchain tends to have from early adopters. Early adopters are all about crypto, blockchain, and they get it. They buy in. But people who are a little bit lag behind on the bell curve may see more risk to like volatility of crypto and scams and that sort of thing. Do you have the ability to protect people? So if somebody's providing a service that is it eventually turns out it's a scam, it's a crypto scam, let's say, for example, does your company have the ability to consolidate and analyze and shut services down that are actual scams?
Yeah, so just to give a background, so we have been in this industry for 2021, and I do associate the risk that people have when we talk about any crypto project, any blockchain project for that matter. It's just like the crypto scams that comes in the mind, and I need to say it's not wrong also, because there are a lot of scams that have happened over the period of time. But now we see we've just moved on from that bubble segment already. So we've already moved on to the projects which really do make sense in some way or the other, are only residing, and people who are really serious about the business are only there in the business. So there will be a lot of new things and a lot of developments that will keep on coming in. And what we want to guarantee our users is we do have a free plan. We've been offering it. We have around 5,000 users who are using still on free plan for the last 3 years, and they're pretty comfortable also. Only if they're
Nice.
very comfortable, they go and upgrade their services to the paid plan. So they really don't have any risk to try it out and see whether it's making some value add to the services. But I can assure you, with the kind of technology that is built into it and kind of development that's happening around the world, there are a lot of things, positive things that come in over the period of years, and I do see that adoption happening in a small way right now.
Nice. Okay. And that free tier, that's limited by the number of files or the drive space, storage space,
Yes.
basically. So
Yeah,
okay,
it's
so
it's a
cool.
2 GB plan. It's a 2 GB plan, and we
Okay.
also work with a lot of entrepreneurs to scale it up to a little higher. If they have good use cases and POC they want to try, we do offer them generous amount of space to try it out, work them out. It's all about adoption and giving them knowledge about the benefits that they can derive from this service. Actually,
Nice. Okay. I'd be really curious. So, 2 gigabytes of space. If you're just like hosting a web application, let's say that's very generous. If you are using this like file storage, you're going to run out of I have this with my
yes.
my photos on Apple, whatever. Um, but that's really good. Within that free account, would you be able to set up multiple websites, multiple, domains that can be accessed and managed separately, or are you limited to like one URL, let's say?
No, so it's like it's an SD compatible space. You can just refer to it, and you can set up any number of references to that space. So we
Okay.
limit it by the amount of space and not by the amount of accounts or anything.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So cool. And then what technologies are would be supported? Are you tech agnostic? Like if somebody has,
So
WordPress
it's
websites or
an SD
Laravel?
compatible. It's an SD
Okay.
compatible space. So anything that you can host on S3 can be hosted here.
Okay. So got it. So there's not really an operating system baked in.
No, it's
Just
just a
storage.
storage. It's a storage area.
Okay, got it. Okay, love it. So you've been at this for many years now, you'd say, and so you've seen a lot of change come out of the industry, specifically around tech and hosting. What have been the biggest changes that you've seen in terms of this kind of service?
So this is like the technology has matured a lot, and we really find that people are coming with good use cases. So earlier we've grown out from that hype scale where people were just anything and everything. It was just like that dot com rush where everybody wanted to build on a dot com and everything was on dot com and everything. So we moved out of this. There's a kind of maturity that is coming to it, and people are
Yeah,
also adopting the technology. They're open to work and listen to us at least. Earlier, it was
yeah,
2, 3 years back, it was just like crypto scams. Whenever we could approach people, it
right.
would just be like crypto scams. So now people are ready to accept it, do POC, kind of listen, give them listening ears, like what exactly you're doing and how it adds value to their day-to-day lives. So that's the good thing that I can say has happened over the period of time.
Very cool. Okay, so we talked about the past and how things have developed. Where do you see in the next 5 to 10 years where hosting and specifically like decentralized, cloud hosting, where do you see that going? What are the big trends coming?
So yeah, so we feel that we would be going the entire decentralized storage platform is going to benefit enormously. There'll be a specific place where we will have in human mind, because what happens is till now we're not taken as a serious alternative to the hyperscalers. But there will be a time which will come, people will start adopting in decentralized cloud. So we will have a specific mind share of people in this specific industry. So we're very positive, and we see that the adoption will go over the period of time because of the various benefits that they'll get compared to the hyperscalers.
Very cool, very cool. So as a chief growth officer, your main charge, I expect, is revenue. And what are the things you're looking at? Could you talk through without giving away, anything that you're not comfortable sharing. Can you talk about the growth of revenue since you joined, and then kind of where you are now, what you're looking at for upcoming years?
Yeah. So as a chief growth officer, my main responsibility is working with customers, bringing use cases, bringing POCs to the platform, and ensuring that they're tested properly. They have the kind of satisfaction that the service they're able to explore the technology to the optimum limit. So that's my core responsibility. From the time we started, for the first few years, we were just in beta. Then we launched in our mainnet. We had mainnet people coming in. We still have a very huge amount of individual. So what we divided is we divided our company into two segments. One is a B2C segment where we have end users and customers who sign up and use it as a medium of storing their files. And we have B2B customers where we work in as POCs. We work in with Web3 projects who are not comfortable using hyperscalers to put in that technology sort of things. So that's the key area where I work very strongly with all the Web3 players or the Web2 players who wants to build some kind of innovation into the system or looking for storing for system. And I can see that system is really that part is really coming up very well. In terms of B2C, it's completely driven automatically by users acquisition. It's running through AdWords and all. People just sign up through the word of mouth or through our various uh, outreach methods that we run. So that's also going pretty well.
Okay,
So these are the
very
two
cool.
segments that we will be focusing.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. One of the things that I'm really curious about is so you're the nature of what you do. You've got you require some physical like infrastructure, and then ultimately you're providing a service. So you're kind of like a service provider, but crossing over with how you deliver that service. A lot of our audience are professional service businesses, so they're law firms, or they're medical practices, or they're financial advisory firms. Um, and they sell their knowledge. When they get a new client, they're doing like physical work, but the product of their work is the is information essentially. So I see that as being kind of you've got two worlds that you're combining. It's a little bit like a service with SaaS, and like for our audience, what do you think are some corollaries to what you do and how you grow your business and how they could grow their business similarly?
So it's actually it's through word of mouth and marketing that we have been getting the major things. As far as the B2C segment is concerned, it's more over outreach, tying up through Google AdWords and outreach methods that we have in. And from the B2B, we actually work with clients individually. So we approach the
Yeah.
clients and we work with them as POCs. We give them the service, we show them how it's working, and that's when we get in the actual signings. Needless to say, the major revenue comes from the B2B part because
Yeah, sure,
B2C
sure.
is still major customers are still using it on the free tier and they're still comfortable, and that's a generous space where they don't want to really upgrade it. But the major revenue comes from the B2B part, which people are actually adopting and signing and getting in more use cases and bigger use cases where we actually work with them in a very deep level. So we have a tech team which work with their tech team and get things done for as per their requirements.
Nice. Okay. So if somebody is interested in trying this out, we're going to have a link to your site in the show notes. But is there somewhere where they can see use cases, or if they have questions, like would this work for me in my business? That sort of thing.
Sure. We are always available on Twitter. We are always available on Discord chat. We have a support group at Discord. We're also available on emails and everywhere. And anyone can reach out to us. We can set up a call and we can take it up from there. So individually, depending upon case to case basis, what the requirement is, and we have a group community which is always available on Discord to help them out. So if there's some users who have some technical queries, we have integration documents which are already put in very easy. Since we are S3 compatible, you just need to follow the S3 parameters, which is like a global standard to connect and use our platform. So it's
Yeah.
very much simple, but still we work with customers. If they have some kind of requirements, then we do work with them and we help them case to case basis also.
So very cool. So And just to again put this in layman's terms, if you've got a USB drive that you back up your computer to, like that, that you plug in the USB port and pull files over, that's kind of an illustration of what you guys are doing, but cloud. There's no like USB plug, right? You're just providing moving files over as storage. But cool. Um, is there, so this has been super fun. I know we're at time here, a little bit past. But is there anything that you wish we had covered that I just haven't asked?
No, so just to stand before we wrap up, this is an interesting use case, and this really offers value to the customer. So this is where somebody can really get in value compared to this. So I invite everybody to come sign up, use it for free, and see how it's working, and then do shares the feedback. We'll be happy to discuss with you one-on-one in case if you have any specific requirements.
Very cool. Murphy John, I appreciate you being on today, sharing your insights and knowledge and yeah, potentially teaching people about a new way of hosting their data. But I appreciate you being on.
Thank you very much, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Okay. All right, that was Murphy John from StoreX Network making a compelling case that the cloud infrastructure that we've all accepted as inevitable might not be the only option for businesses with data sovereignty and privacy at the core of their concern. So if today's conversation sparked questions by your own infrastructure, check out the links in the show notes to explore decentralized storage options and connect with Murphy's team. He's a delightful individual. And if you're a professional services firm looking to build more secure and compliant and cost-effective technology systems, Code Conspirators offers free infrastructure assessments where we'll evaluate your entire stack, identify opportunities for improvement, and help you figure out the best way to move forward. So reach out there if you have any thoughts, questions, feedback, etc. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.